Well, hello everybody and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to make some digestive biscuits. Now, digestive biscuits are a nice crunchy biscuit which we enjoy very much in the UK, and they're sweet but not too sweet, and they're made with wholemeal flour and some oats basically, and sugar and such like. Similar, from what I can gather, to graham crackers in the USA and Canada. They're often used for the base of cheesecakes and such like, as well as being eaten with a cup of tea. I like to dunk mine in a cup of tea and just hope it doesn't break in half as I take it out. And they're easy enough to make, so we'll go on to the ingredients. And I have 200 grams, which is 1.5 cups of wholemeal flour. I have another 200 grams, which is 2.5 cups of rolled oats or rough cut oats, which I'm going to blitz to make them finer. I have 200 grams, which is 14 tablespoons of softened butter, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, about 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 150 grams, which is 3/4 cup of soft brown sugar. So the first thing I'm going to do is to put the baking powder and the salt into the flour mixture, and I'll put the sugar in as well. And then I'm going to give that a mix around, and then I need to add into that my oats, but first I need to blitz those, and I'm going to just do those in my mini bowl of my immersion blender. You could do them in a food processor in one go, but I'll do these in two batches. Just this is easier for cleaning up afterwards. So that's half of the mixture, and I'll tip that into the flour and do the same with the other half. That's good. So then I'll mix that in as well. I'll use a fork to do that. It's going to be easier to stir it in. Oh, I should say also have 1/4 cup, 4 tablespoons of milk, which I've had chilling in the fridge. So then what I want to do is to put my softened butter into the dry mixture, and I want to sort of rub it together until I get a nice crumbly texture. And I'm just going to start by giving it a stir with the fork to get the butter coated. And then just rub it between your hands until the butter is all mixed in properly and you have a nice crumbly texture. As you can see, that's now quite nicely mixed in. You don't have to be too precise about it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour in my 4 tablespoons of of milk, and I'm going to pull that all together into a nice dough, which will still be quite dry, but it will cling together. But you need to squeeze it to get it into the dough. As you can see, that's come together quite nicely, so I'm just going to take it out of the bowl and give it an extra squeeze on the work surface so I can form it into a disc. That's good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap that in plastic wrap, and I'm going to chill it in the fridge. This is just to make it easier to roll out. So I'll chill it in the fridge for about half an hour, and then I'll come back and we'll roll it out. And when I come back, my oven will be preheated to 180 Celsius, 160 Celsius with a fan, 350 Fahrenheit, and I'll have a couple of baking trays lined with parchment paper ready for the biscuits to go on. So I've let our digestive dough chill in the fridge for about half an hour, and what I've done is I've taken half of it and I put it onto a lightly floured work surface, and that's using wholemeal flour just to keep consistent with the ingredients I've already used. And I'm going to roll that out to a thickness of about 1/4 inch, which is 5 millimeters. So I have my 5 millimeter guides that I can use here. Now the dough may crack, but you can always push it back together again because it's still quite crumbly. And with that rolled out to about 1/4 inch, I'm going to take a 3-inch 7 centimeter cookie cutter and just cut out the circles. And then I'm going to simply put those onto my baking tray. And with 2 trays filled, I've got 6 on each tray, that's used half of the dough. I'm going to put those into the oven and bake them for 15 minutes. Then I take them out and let them cool down, and I'll put the rest in. When they're all baked and cooled down, I'll come back and show you the results. Okay, so I baked our digestive biscuits for 15 minutes, took them out of the oven, allowed them to cool down, and this is what they look like. And they baked very, very nicely, as you can see. And so I'll have a taste of one. Tastes very good indeed. Not too sweet, and Digestive Biscuits aren't too sweet. I think the texture of these is slightly rougher than the texture of the refined ones made by McVitie's or whoever. I think they probably process the flour and their oats to a much finer grain. But they're very easy to make and very, very tasty. And they're perfect for dipping in tea, or perfect for eating with tea. They're also very good eating with cheese. And as I say, they can also be used as the basis of things like cheesecakes. So that's going to be it for this recipe. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, please give me the thumbs up below the video and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen, there will be an eye that you can click on, and that will take you to this recipe, and I'll put a link below the video as well. And then I'll be back with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.